Hi, everybody. This is Holland Martin. Thanks for joining me today. Today, I have former Marion Giant great Jody McCain visiting us. Thanks for joining us today, Jody.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
All right, thanks, man. Uh, let's go. Let's start back into the beginning. Uh, where were you raised at? What neighborhood? And what schools did you go to coming up in Marion?
Uh, my early years up to preschool, I went to Francis Slocum. We stayed on 18th and Adams. Actually, we stayed like catty corner from James Blackman and them.
Okay.
Uh, first grade through fourth grade, I went to Southeast. We end up moving.
Mm-hmm.
Then moved my fourth grade year to 16th and Branson,
Okay.
and finishing my schooling at my fourth grade year at Allen.
Okay.
So,
Our Mustangs.
yep. Then I ended up going to Jones. I was a Jones Panther, baby.
Mm-hmm. They're the
Yeah.
Patriots now.
Hey, they need to open it back up.
They really do. That football field back there needs some run too. So you say you live catty corner to James Blackman. So you remember all the being a youngster and him being a big basketball star at Marion, Kentucky, and all that.
Yeah, I do. Yep.
That had to be a good influence. Did that make you want to one day, do that?
Well, I mean, actually, I ain't have a lot of a choice because I mean, when I was younger, my dad always was a coach.
Mm-hmm.
So about when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, my brother Jason McCain, he 5 years older than me.
Yes.
So I had to play against, people 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. And here I am 5, 6, and 7 years old. And if I don't produce, I get in trouble.
Yep. You had to sit and watch.
So no, it wasn't no sitting and watching.
It wasn't.
I had to be out there. Football, basketball, baseball. Like I
All
said,
that.
my dad coached everything.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, if I didn't produce against people like that, that's older, oh yeah, I got in trouble.
Okay. Now you also had your sister Robbie was a big time basketball star for Marion. When I first moved to Marion, that was the first person I met when I moved to Marion was Robbie. She, Mr. Moses, rest in peace, was my guidance counselor, and she was a office aide for Mr. Moses, and she was the one that took me to my first class and all that. And then I saw that she was a big time basketball star too in her own right, which is good stuff. So tell me about the dream team. Once Jay and Lyndon got there, what are some of your memories from the dream team?
Oh man, like I said, when I was a little kid, I mean, growing up, James, Jay, Lyndon, that they was just like NBA stars to me.
Yes.
And like I said, when I was younger, they half of them played football, baseball,
Mm-hmm.
basketball. That's a good thing about all of us back then. We all played all sports.
Yes.
We were straight athletes. I mean, there was not just playing just one sport. It was
Yeah.
always you played basketball, baseball, and football. And I mean, you being a kid out riding your bike,
That
playing
was
and
it. I
out
think
playing out.
nowadays the kids they're kind of pigeonholing the basketball all year long, or baseball all year long. But like you said, we played football, basketball. We ran track, played baseball. Then we walked all over the place. We walked to the Aquadome with the YMCA, or we went to different basketball courts, 38th Street and McClure and Webster. We went all over town. These kids don't do that so much these days.
Right. Just like hey, a bicycle, I don't think they know what that is.
Oh man, thumbs are strong, mine's kind of weak. All right, let's
Right.
get all right. Let's get back to you, what is your, so you went to Justice, and did you ever transition over to McCullough, or would you stay at Justice those years?
No, I was at Jones all 4 years,
Okay, so you
all
was
my
at
years.
Jones. Okay.
Yeah.
When did you start AAU basketball?
I started AAU. Actually, I think I was like 9. I know I played here
Mm-hmm.
for a little while. I'm trying to think because I know I played when I was 7, and I played when I was 7. I was playing up. I was playing 9 through 11.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know what? That's hard to say because I can't remember that.
Okay.
But I know for sure I played up in everything that I done.
Mm-hmm.
But for sure, when we played for Anderson, men's of ours,
Okay.
started playing when we was 12 over in Anderson.
Mm-hmm. I heard that was a pretty good team out there that year.
Yeah, we had some great teams,
Mm-hmm.
real great teams. We should have won 2 nationals back to back, but
Mm-hmm.
one of our players, Courtney James, had got in trouble for curfew violation,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, we ended up coming in 3rd that year. We had won nationals the year before when we was 14.
I think Courtney ended up playing for Minnesota, didn't he?
Yeah, Courtney played for Minnesota, and he got drafted to the league too.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, you guys should have won that one. But we also had Bonzi Wells and maybe some other guys over there as well.
Yeah, Bonzi came when we was 15. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, when we was 14, we won without Bonzi.
Mm-hmm.
When we was 15, Bonzi came. We went to Oklahoma City, and
Mm-hmm.
we ended up 3rd in the
Okay.
nation. So,
hey, it's tough, man. It's good stuff. Marion doesn't do that quite much anymore. I remember back in the days, you'd see, who was it, Jamie and Phil. They had their boys clubs jacket, they national championship jackets they used to walk around with. You don't see none of that no more. You know,
I still got my little jackets.
you know what I mean? That was big time stuff back then. Guys walking around with their stuff. Okay, now let's transition over to your Marion High years, your freshman year. Like you said, you always played up, but much was expected of you coming in freshman year. You know, 6'5", 200 pounds, solid freshman. But you had some academic issues that first year. Talk about some of those issues and how tough was it to just kind of sit and watch some of those guys play at first.
Well, I mean, academic wise, it was kind of, I really wasn't real focused. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, in my mind state, I was like, well, here I am from 11 years old all the way up. From, like I said, 11 years old till I was a freshman, I was ranked number 1 in the
Mm-hmm.
country twice,
Mm-hmm.
and I was ranked number 2 in the country once, and I was in the top 5. So in my mind state, I'm just like, I mean, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make it to the league, to the NBA,
Mm-hmm.
or make it somewhere professional. So I really didn't take the classroom that too serious. I mean, because I was as a freshman going to high school, seeing all these people, and I'm just having too much fun.
Yeah, yeah, and being that young, I was the same way. We don't have that. Some of the times our mind is not ready for some of the school stuff. We can run touchdowns and shoot baskets, but kind of sitting there doing that homework it was a little tough for me personally. I ain't gonna lie. But eventually, the focus and the discipline and things like that, I had a big issues with that too. But you did get to play though. Talk to me about when Coach looked over at you at the Anderson game and told you to get in there. How'd that feel?
Oh, playing against Anderson, and me playing in Anderson.
Yeah.
So, I knew all the players that was on Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
My adrenaline was flowing.
Yeah.
Here
Prince
I am.
and
I'm playing against
Kojak.
Kojak. I'm playing against Prince.
Yeah.
Uh,
All
yeah, I mean,
the other
playing
brothers.
against yeah,
I forget
playing
his
against
name.
Kojak was
The
seeing
guy.
this little dude. Yeah, Kojak was a truth, real deal.
Yep.
He was a real deal dude. Um, man, that was the best play. That was the best thing ever. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
anytime we play against Anderson, it's always a great game.
Big time rival.
Big time rival.
Mm-hmm.
And when
You
I
was
first,
able to you were able to score in that game, getting your first, couple buckets as a varsity player. And Brian Walker got a big steal at the end, and you guys won.
yeah.
Kind of kicked off that
Yeah.
that year, that high school year. How was it playing under Coach Green? How was he?
I mean, I know my freshman and sophomore year, I know Coach Green was like head honcho, and
Mm-hmm.
then like during my sophomore year, it was kind of felt like something had changed.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I really didn't realize it until later. But just for instance, like one game when we played against Lawrence North at Lawrence North,
Uh-huh.
I was a legit 6'3",
Mm-hmm.
a legit 6'3", playing against dudes that's 6'9",
Seven, yeah.
6'10", yeah,
Kiefer always
small,
had
small.
a big 7-footer down there.
Right. I'm 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
So we was down at halftime,
Mm-hmm.
and Coach Green said something, and everybody kind of looked at each other like,
Mm-hmm.
he,
What am I supposed to do?
he pointed at me. He was like, the cameras ain't on you, Jody, they on me. And
Mm,
I'm out there playing. I'm just like, what is he talking about?
mm.
Yeah. There was something funny about that situation after
Yeah.
that. It
The
just felt
cameras on me, they ain't on you.
right. And I'm just out there playing. Like I said, I'm a legit 6'3", playing
15
against
year old
dudes.
15-year-old kid out there down the nap against you 7-footers.
Right. And I ended up with like I think 27 that game.
Mm-hmm. But
So I
him and Kiefer got that back and forth thing from all those years.
okay. Well,
Kiefer
like I
used to
said,
coach up here at Oak Hill, I think.
oh really?
Yeah, he's like a local guy, but he ended up getting the job down there. And then Bill Green from down there too, before he came up here. Bill Green coached George McGinnis down there in the 60s.
Right. And I talked to George McGinnis a couple times when I went to the Pacers game,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm kind of looking at him. He know exactly who I am. We just sitting
Yeah.
there talking. I'm just looking at him like, you really know who I am? Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you from Marion? Yeah. Like, okay. So
Hey,
yeah, I mean,
it's official, baby.
little stuff like that. Yeah, little stuff like that. I could have sworn up and down I was just gonna make it to the NBA, just
Mm-hmm.
like the other kid that had that mindset.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, being a little bit older than you, I'm about your brother's age. Looking back, I think that was the tone. It was like, hey, we got this. We got Jason, little brother, coming up. He's big. He's strong. You know what I mean? And he's gonna, be the one. Almost like your nephew coming up now. You know what I mean? Kind of
Right.
similar. Big already, strong already. All he got to do is put the work in and learn the game and get his grades right. He can write his own ticket.
Right.
And we was thinking that as you. But so tell me this. And you guys had some good seasons. I mean, you had some good. You had Bolden. You had Hippie. You had other guys there. You were had some good seasons. But your junior year, talk about breaking your foot.
Oh man.
How did you do that?
We was in practice.
Mm-hmm.
We was in practice, and I caught the ball at about the free throw line,
Mm-hmm.
and I turned. Somebody stepped on my foot, and I turned.
Mm.
I'm thinking that I'm laying the ball up, but my
Mm-hmm.
foot's still there.
Mm.
So I heard it pop.
Uh-huh.
then when I came down, me being me, because I done broke a lot of bones in my body. I tried to play through it, and I tried to walk. I was like, ooh,
So I
like
can't.
man, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had to hobble off the court and sit down. So get to the training room. The
Mm-hmm.
trainer put 2 big bags of ice
Mm-hmm.
and wrapped my ankle and had it limped over the bench.
So
So you
that
talking
didn't help
about
too much.
somebody in pain?
But that
I was
was
in
it
pain.
some serious pain. So did you end up getting surgery, pins and rods and things in there?
No, nope. I ended up getting it was called a bone stimulator,
Mm-hmm.
and it just came out. Michael Jordan had it.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing costs like $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
So they end up getting that right after Jordan had did his ankle.
Mm-hmm.
It healed it up real quick. So
Mm-hmm. So,
I had got one, and within 2 weeks I was back playing.
hey, stuff works, baby. Okay,
Yeah.
now that was a crazy year. Y'all end up going 13-7, and Bill Green actually left a portion of that season, if I can recall.
Yeah, that
He
surgery.
he wasn't there the whole season. I don't know. I can't remember quite why he left, but he wasn't quite there that whole season. But he ended up coming back. But also, you guys lost Fred Jones to suspension that year, Tavares to suspension that year, and still end up getting with a 13-7 regular season record, which is pretty good. Now let's head into that senior year. What are the expectations? Your foot's healed, trying to make things good for college. What was your mindset going to that senior year at Marion High?
Well, actually, my senior year, I had surgery on my foot
Mm-hmm.
before basketball season. So I
Mm-hmm.
took off football season just to have my little surgery.
Yes.
Um, I mean, my expectation, I was just like I said, my mindset was I'd already seen all these college letters. I done
Mm-hmm.
talk. I mean, college coaches and said things to me. I mean, when I was a sophomore, Dick Vitale was talking about me on national television.
Mm.
So, I mean,
Expectations.
yeah, what more could I say? I mean, my
Mm-hmm.
expectations was I'm going to
To the league.
some Division One school, or I'm just going to the league.
Mm-hmm.
That's my expectation.
And that's the era of Rip Hamilton's, Ray Allen's, Kobe Bryant's. That's big time guys like back in there. KG's, Ronnie Fields. There's a lot of dudes that could play back then.
Yeah, Ray Allen was at UConn when
Mm-hmm.
I graduated.
Okay.
So I know I had UConn recruiting me,
Mm-hmm.
like Syracuse, Temple, UCLA, Harvard, Princeton, all the schools, all the Big Ten schools. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, literally, my letters was coming in the dirty clothes thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So what where did you always want to go? What was your choice?
You know what? I really don't know because I really wouldn't have known because I mean there was so many options,
Mm-hmm.
so many schools that wanted me. But I went to the Purdue games. They had me come to the Purdue game. I sat
Mm-hmm.
behind the bench. I did little things like that. But Temple was hot on me when I was a
John Chaney.
sophomore. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
he wanted me to move out there and go to a private school when I was a sophomore in high school.
Mm-hmm. Philly.
Yeah, but my mom was like, "No, we don't know
Mm-hmm.
him like that." So
Yeah.
they were sure they was trying to get me out there to get
Mm-hmm.
away from me.
Yes.
So I think about stuff like that now. Like, man, if I would have left,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
How?
I mean,
Yeah.
if
Where did
things
you
would have
end?
been different.
So where did you end up going?
I ended up going to a junior college in Tennessee. I was in Madisonville, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 30 miles, about 35 minutes from Knoxville, and about 45 minutes north of Chattanooga.
Okay. How was it down there? How they treat you down there?
Well, actually, I mean, I started off good. Then I ended up getting kicked off the team.
You want to talk about that story?
First 8 games, I led in points, rebounds. I think I might have been second in assists.
Mm-hmm.
First in steals. So in all 4 categories, I was right there. But my coach ended up telling me I played too much like Jordan.
Is that a bad thing?
Apparently, I guess it was, because he kicked me off the team, and they ended up losing that next game after they kicked me off the team.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up losing. I think they ended up going 32-2, but we was 8-0 when I was on the team, and we was beating every team by 50 points or more.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually, when we scrimmaged against Kentucky Wesleyan, and they had just won the Nationals the year before. So we practiced scrimmage against them. We beat them, and then they came to our house, and we ended up beating them by at least 50-something points.
Good stuff. So you had a good time at the college experience.
Yeah.
But before we go too far, let's go back to high school real quick. Now, you played football, and did you play baseball as well in high school?
Actually, I stopped playing baseball and I stopped running track after 8th grade.
Okay.
But I kept playing football and basketball in high school.
Okay. And what position did you play in football?
I was a wide receiver. I played a little running back my freshman year. I was wide receiver. I was the punter. And I was on the kickoff team. And I was on kickoff return for a little while.
Now, how was that? How was that on the team with Coach Surface and some of the other things that go along with all that?
It was pretty good. My freshman year, I mean, I played a little bit. I think they really let me play one game because we was beating Anderson, so they went on ahead and put me in. I think I had 3 carries with 112 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Hey, that's good. Hey, that's good.
Yeah. Sophomore year, I did good. I mean, I was wide receiver. You throw it, I don't care where you throwing it, I'm getting it. I think I had
up there.
Yeah, I think every pass that I caught that year was a touchdown. Come to my junior year, I was starting my sophomore year, and then my junior year, Jeff McPherson was the offensive coach or whatever, but he flipped me and went from me starting to have me running. He had me and somebody else playing, but he was starting the other person in front of me, and I'm just looking at him like, I go from starting, catching every pass that I caught was a touchdown to having me going with somebody else.
So you
having the other person starting.
So you didn't like that too much?
No, that's why I ended up having my foot surgery before basketball season, my senior year, because after that,
you're like, I'm sticking to basketball.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to continue to keep playing football, but coming from, like I said, being a starter, every pass you catch is a touchdown, to having somebody else start
Mm-hmm.
before you that's not better than you, and just
Yeah.
having them play one part, then I play another part. No, I can't.
Mm-mm. Yeah, you should stick me in there. I feel you. So so after leaving, after getting dismissed from college down there in Tennessee, did you go any other college route after that?
Yeah, I ended up coming back, and I went to St. Francis in Fort Wayne.
Okay. They
Actually,
had, they had a good squad up there. Was it Reckeweg up there?
yeah,
Okay.
actually, honestly, that was the worst team I ever played with.
Really?
Yeah, that was the
Tell
worst
me
team
some
I ever
stories about Fort Wayne.
Uh, about the first half of the season, he really wasn't playing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, maybe about maybe about 5 to 7 minutes a game, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
just sitting here like, and I'm still leading in points and rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be games that I would score like 30 points,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll either pull me out or he'll freeze me out.
Mm-hmm.
I know one main game that we played against Kent State. You know, Kent State's in the MAC conference.
Yeah, big time. D1.
I ended up getting hurt that game, but I
Mm-hmm.
played about 17, 18 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up with I think I had 24 points.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think I had about a double double. I think I
Mm-hmm.
had like 24 and 10 or 24 and 8, something like that.
What did you hurt in that game?
I ended up hurting my knee.
Mm.
I was standing under the bucket, about ready to try to get a rebound,
Mm-hmm.
and the dude was about 6'9",
Mm-hmm.
came down on my leg and hyperextended my leg back.
Mm. I hate when that stuff happens.
Yeah, but I end up coming back out and playing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I had people in the crowd like, man, you the only person that's worth watching on your team.
You know what I'm saying?
Go back out there. You know, this the Kent State people talking to me.
Yeah, you the best thing out there. Get on back out there.
Yeah. So I mean, like games like that, I it was back to back. I think I had 27 against Kent State.
Mm-hmm.
I had 30 against Albania.
Mm-hmm.
Then we left Albania. Then we went to Kent State.
Mm-hmm.
Had 27. Then he refused to start me.
Mm-hmm.
I broke my ribs in
Mm-hmm.
practice. Yeah, I broke my ribs in practice.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the players from Richmond that was on our team, I went up for a dunk, and
Mm-hmm.
he put his forearm up. So when
Mm-hmm.
I came down on his forearm.
Mm-hmm.
So you know,
It
instance,
hurt.
I'm like, oh, and I hit the mat.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't like that. So I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, I got broken ribs. What
It
more am I
hurts.
gonna
Yeah.
do?
Cheap shot, man. It hurt.
Yeah, he cheap shot at me.
So what was the end of your college career?
That was the last. That was the last at St. Francis, my
Mm-hmm.
sophomore year.
Now was Blackman and Livingston up there?
No, they was up there.
Oh,
What
then,
year
but
was
Roger
it?
Randolph ended up going up there a couple years later after you.
Roger and Roger Randolph went there, and Andre Betts was up there.
Okay, Dre D1 went up there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was I remember the day Roger came down to IWU, tore the house down, boy.
Yeah.
Something special. Rest in peace to Double R. Okay, so after those college player days down, you actually had some pro looks. Let's talk about some of those pro looks that you had, and this kind of rubbing elbows and almost getting to that ultimate point, almost getting to the NBA.
Okay. Yeah. You know, I ended up playing uh for the World Basketball Association, a
Mm-hmm.
professional team in Georgia.
Okay.
So actually, my coach was he got drafted to the Pacers when he first came into the league. Dag, I don't forgot his name now. Oh man, Brian Rawson. Brian
Okay.
Rawson. He played for the Pacers. He got drafted to the Pacers, and I know he played for the Hornets, Charlotte Hornets too.
Mm-hmm. You're pretty cool dude.
Yeah, super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool. About six Brian Rawson like 6'9".
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. He was a cool dude. He actually coaching overseas right now.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I came back from there from playing that, and I had a personal trainer
Mm-hmm.
that was training. So I was working out at least 6 hours a day. I
Mm-hmm.
go play with everybody, and I go to the court by myself and shoot
Mm-hmm.
fourth quarter play, nonstop hard for 2 hours straight. Then I hit the gym
Mm-hmm.
with my personal trainer. But yeah, actually, the personal trainer took my Kent State game
Mm-hmm.
and sent it over to Spain in Europe,
Okay.
and they wanted me to come over there. They had made me an offer,
Mm-hmm.
but they wanted us to do the game film because it was kind of old. I was
Mm-hmm.
about I think I was about 24, 25 around that time.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, Kevin McKinney gave me this number,
Okay.
and
Former, I think he used to coach with Blackman at the Marion.
yeah,
After the Mid-Cinewall game, I didn't see him anymore.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, he gave me a 1-800 number, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, who is this? He's like, just call it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, who is it? I don't know who it is. He's like, man, just call it.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up calling him. It was the Pacers front office.
Oh, wow. That's
So
good.
and I'm just like, kind of shocked, like, huh? It's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, this Pacers front office, like, I just said my name. Oh, this Jody McCain, dude was like, oh, Jody McCain that played for the Marion Giants, about 6'4", 6'5", jump out the gym, super
Wow.
great dude. And my mouth dropped. Like, are you serious?
You know me?
It's not nobody. Look, it's nobody on the computer because he repeated. He said everything just like I'm saying it.
Yep.
There wasn't no time to get on the computer to do it.
Hey, that's good stuff, baby. So what
You know,
happened after that?
He was like, "Oh yeah, we was there watching you," and I'm just like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, we was there watching." Shocked, in shock.
Got to feel like you're getting closer, like you getting a chance to get your foot in the NBA door.
I was out. Yeah, I was in shock.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, it was just, I had like some workouts sent to me from like the Houston Rockets and
Mm-hmm.
Little stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, basketball is my life. Being an athlete is my life.
Mm-hmm.
I know I had the talent. I
Yes.
just understand how I didn't make it. That's the whole thing. That's key.
I feel the same way. I should have been in the NFL, but I messed it. I look back and I think I did most of it myself, so I can relate. Other people had some stuff too to do with it, but I had a lot to do with it.
Right.
Okay. Now, let's go back a little bit to the high school again. You finished up with 1,204 points at Marion. Even with not playing a full freshman year, even sitting out 4 games with a broken foot. Talk about just those numbers. Some of your games, some of the memories that you had, bus rides, just some special memories that you've always thought about and always wanted to talk about. Just kind of back in the high school round. 1,204 points, things of that nature.
Well, I mean, I don't think my numbers even come close to adding up. People look at that stuff. I know it's a lot of politics everywhere, but I don't know who it is that don't like me. But I know they don't like me after, looking at my stats, looking at all the things that I've done around here, not taking that step to the next level, getting held back from all these college coaches. I mean, I'm still a giant, but they took a lot out of my life. They took, I mean, being a kid, let a kid be a kid and
Yes.
live.
Hmm.
Don't take a kid's life, because they took my life. That was
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
that stuff to feed my family,
Yeah.
and
They had it.
I give back. That's not a problem.
Hmm.
But they definitely took a lot out of me. They took my life.
Things could have been different. Could have been
Yeah,
better.
could have been a lot better, a lot
Yes.
different.
Hmm.
But I mean, you know, playing the bus rides always lovely.
Oh
And
man.
football, basketball, all bus rides always lovely because there's always something going on.
Uh,
Uh,
always fun.
Always fun. Let's see, like when we went to Lawrence North,
Hmm.
you know, after we went to Lawrence North, we went to go eat at I think it was Chuck E. Cheese.
Hmm.
Well,
You know what, man? We used to do that, bruh. We used to go to steakhouses. They used to give us McDonald's and Big Mac cards. Man, we don't do
Yeah,
that no more, man.
yeah. I used to have a stack of McDonald's cards.
Oh, me too.
Man, I probably used to have about 4 quarter pounders a day.
You know what? I used to eat one or two myself. I get some from one dude, get some from another dude. And they used to have the Marion cafeteria down there by the library. And we used to go down there, tell them we Marion Giants. We get a free meal at lunch on game day. We had our jerseys on. And, just little stuff like that. And,
Yeah, Lawrence North. Like I said, we went to Chuck E. Cheese. Here we are, high school cats. We
mhm.
playing in the balls. I'm slamming hippie all in the balls. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. All that stuff was fun, man. I
It
mean,
was. It's have so much fun being a kid. Now that we grown, I kind of wish that I could go back to there sometimes every now and again.
man, if I could go back, I'll go back to the 80s and early 90s, and I'll be good.
I'd change it. I'd probably go back to 16, 17 and do some things different, make some different choices. I made
Right.
I made some crazy choices that I end up paying for a long time. But okay, after the college thing and the pros, after the pro thing, what did you get into after basketball ended for you?
Um, I ended up actually after that I was working at Delphi
Hmm.
Electronics in Kokomo.
Okay,
So I
that's a
did
pretty
that
good
for
job.
yeah. Actually, that was the best job I ever had.
Hmm.
You can't, hey, ain't too many people can say that.
You make good money. You might live in there, but you're making some good money.
I didn't have to live. I mean, there was days I worked 12 hours, probably about 3 days out the week. I worked
Hmm.
like 3 12s, and I worked every day. I worked 7 days a week.
Hmm.
But
Oh,
that was
good
by
money.
choice. Yeah, that was by choice.
Good
But
money.
I worked first shift, so I could see my kids, and I can do everything I need to do.
Yeah.
And that was the blessing right there. As long as I can see my kids, I'm happy. As long as
Hmm.
I can provide and give them what they need, I'm
And,
happy.
and that's what these kids need. I'm around kids a lot, and they got grandma raising them, no mama, mama gone, don't know daddy, daddy gone. It's crazy. What you had to eat, hot Cheetos. What you had to eat, Burger King. I mean, it's kind of sad uh, when you look at it sometimes. But I was one of those kids too. I didn't have no pops coming up. I had to learn from these old knuckleheads that's still doing the same stuff they was doing.
Right.
Uh, so it definitely ain't easy navigating coming up. But if you got good parents like you that make time and take time for your kids, man, you can't discount that. It's so special. Um, so what are you doing now? What is Jody McCain doing now?
Well, actually, right now I work at General Motors in Fort Wayne.
Okay.
Then I run my own lawn care service, and I'll buy pallets and stuff and would return stuff and new stuff, boxes damaged, but new stuff. I do that on the side as well.
So you're still very, very busy.
Yeah, I'm super busy.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you
Second
still?
shift ain't the life to live.
No. Do you still have your foot in local basketball, be it boys club, PAL club, little league?
I mean, when I usually have time, I either go down to the Y, train my nephew and some of the players.
Yes.
When my brother coach, I go in there and help out with them.
Yeah, that 8th grade squad is very special coming up. They remind me of that 08, 09 squad with Julius that Luce had, and that 2016 team too that Reggie Jones had. But this 8th grade squad, to me, they can go to state, semi-state, 2 or 3 out of, before they graduate, they're going to be something special. If they keep that group together, they have a special 8th grade group.
Check this out. All them names that you named, guess who they came from? Who coached them before? My brother coached all of them before.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, Jason's a big time coach, man. He knows what he's doing on that basketball court. But watching him play, because he was going against Montrose, Joe and John Ross. I remember Channel 13 came down and did an interview for him with him. Jason was big time. He was undersized, but he could battle 7-footers.
Oh, all day. Killed Montrose.
Killed them. Them Ross twins too from Northfield. Killed them.
He sure did.
Yeah. And that's what I love is the rich history of Marion sports. I mean, it can be basketball, football, swimming. I mean, it can be ROTC, JROTC. It can be anything. Marion breeds success, athletic. Yeah. But we have to breed success in the classroom academically. It's not just running touchdowns and scoring buckets and hitting home runs. We gotta teach these kids success, how to be articulate, how to navigate a real world. And now it's how to do stocks, how to do bonds, how to have equity, how to play the long game. We teach reading, writing, and arithmetic, but we don't teach these kids the long game. And then when they graduate, they don't know that vital information. You know what I mean? That's what I'm on now, as far as crypto, Bitcoin, things that can accrue value later on in life. So do you? Let's get your contact information out on your lawn care service in case anybody wants to get a hold of you.
Yeah, my contact number is I got two different phones.
Okay.
So one of them is pretty much my lawn care phone is pretty much is 765 667 6540.
Okay.
And then my personal phone is 765 517 3344.
Okay. And what is the name of your lawn care business?
It's called Father and Daughter's Lawn Care.
Okay.
I tried to build it up for my girls to help me. So if they need money, come out here and help Dad cut these lawns.
Put some work in. Yes.
Get you some money real quick, right there.
And that's good too. So you can possibly leave that to them if it gets big enough and get successful enough. And that's what I'm talking about with the long game. Leaving equity, leaving things to where your sons and daughters and granddaughters and grandsons can benefit once we're long gone.
Right.
That's what I'm on now. All right. Well,
I got a couple more things I can say.
Hey, let's go. Let's keep it going.
Okay. Well, as an athlete, my dad wasn't there all the time, but I shall say I got the best mom in the world.
Yes, sir.
This lady worked 35, 36 years,
Mm-hmm.
third shift at Dana.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, like I said, she worked third shift. She was at every game, home and away.
Mm-hmm.
Looked
Even
up to
on
my
third
mom.
shift. That's
Even
dedication.
on still look and still went to work after my game,
Mm-hmm. Hey, I
wherever
tell
it
you,
was.
there's no greater feeling than looking up in the stands and seeing your parents, your mom, your sister, your brother up there. There's nothing special as that. Uh, Me, I played football for a bunch of years. I always wanted a picture of my mom on one side, my dad on the other side, me in the middle. Never got to be able to take a picture like that. I watched hundreds of kids, hundreds of teammates do that. I never was able to do that. So, but I can totally understand the dedication. You know what I mean? The
Right.
third shift, and she's still there. That's love, baby.
Yeah, that's a lot of love.
It
My
means a
brother
lot.
was Yeah, my brother was there too. Man, we can go back to like I said, the high school, like I said, my freshman year, my
Yeah.
grades wasn't all that great.
Mm-hmm.
Sophomore year, I had to change everything up. I,
Talk about
I,
that sophomore year. Talk about the change.
well, once I realized what I needed to do to go to college,
Mm-hmm.
I had to change everything up. I mean, there was no more, well, I'm just gonna go to class and do, a little bit. Now I
Mm-hmm.
had literally I changed from maybe you said freshman year I might have had like an F. If you had an F, you had to sit out.
Yes.
Having no 2, 3 Fs
Oh
nowadays.
man. Back then it was one F. I flunked off the football team and we went to state. Mr. Keller, English class. I flunked 1 point. Now you can have 2 Fs, but you gotta be passing 5 classes. So it's a lot different. And we didn't have Play-Doh back then either. I don't agree with that Play-Doh stuff. That Play-Doh stuff don't get you prepared for college. It just gets you out. It just shoos you out of high school.
I actually, my mom went to the counselor and tried to get me into college classes so I can be ready for the college classes, but they refused to put me in the college classes.
Really? And why is that?
I don't know. Actually, it was Mr. McDowell didn't want to put me in the college classes.
Oh wow!
And,
now, and he was stand-up guy back then.
Yeah, he was actually it was assistant basketball coach.
Mm-hmm. I remember Mr. McDowell.
Yeah, at this time, I was on the high honor roll.
Mm-hmm.
For the sophomore, junior, senior year, I was on the high honor roll. I was
So
on the
did
honor
he
roll
think it was too tough for you, or because nowadays that gets kids prepared with college credits before they even graduate high school?
Right. Right.
You want to be ahead of the game.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean,
it kind of goes back to what you said. There was some things that kind of went on that didn't work to your benefit. Some of the administrators and the teachers kind of didn't do their full jobs and due diligence. But also looking on the other side, do you ever look in the mirror and say, I could have acted different. I shouldn't have said that to some of the coaches or do you ever look and say you could have done some things different on your part?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's things that I could have done different all day. I mean, if somebody say they can't, I mean, they don't see nothing that they could have done different, then they're a hypocrite. Because there's things that I said and done that I shouldn't have done, but that's being young-minded. But every day that I look back at, honestly, I dwell on everything. I dwell on my life back then. What I could have been and what I should have been. I mean, I know I had the opportunities, but somebody took it. Who? Like I said, who? I don't know. I mean, because when you having college coaches pull you to the side and AAU tournaments and asking you questions about your relationship with your coach, then something's going on.
Something's going
Yeah.
on.
It's not just one coach. It's every coach. I mean, like I said, I got UConn,
Mhm.
Temple.
They say, well, what's the
Syracuse.
deal with so that what they say, what's the deal with you and Green? Were they asking you that?
They would ask, like I said, every coach asks me the same thing. It's like, how's your relationship with your coach?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
You say
good,
it's
I guess.
cool. You say it's
Yeah,
cool.
I'm like, it's good, I guess. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, well, you know what? It's kind of funny because every time we call and talk to him about you, he's talking about this other kid. So they ask who the other kid is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I explain who it is.
Who's the other kid?
That Matt Ewer.
So he was pumping Matt Ewer to get to UConn and all those other big time colleges.
And that's what he was trying to do.
And
Because
to be fair, Matt was a decent guard. I mean, he got 30 points a couple times, but he shouldn't be getting 30 and Jody McCain getting 4. I mean, I don't, you know what I mean? And especially
right,
back in the old game where it was a post presence. You know what I mean? Maybe now him getting 30, you getting 4 is okay. But 25 years ago, the inside post man would be on that block. You know what I mean? But,
right.
So he's trying
So,
to, and you know how that goes. You know, kind of the politics. You know, the '87 team, and you know how without saying too much, you know how the politics of when I first moved here, it was 3 from McCullough, 2 from Jones, and 1 from Justice. You know, it was that crazy stuff. You know, and
right.
if you was in the city council, his kid could play. You know, if you all that crazy mess.
Right.
And I believe some of it is true. You know.
Look, it's interesting that you got the Purple Rain team.
Mm-hmm.
Two people average 25 points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 2 people average 25 points. 2 of the other people average 2 points,
Mm-hmm.
and one other person averaged 7 points.
Mm-hmm. So you had the big dogs, Jay and Lynn, and then everybody else just kind of played their roles, you know. And that
Yeah,
is
I
true.
mean, like I said, everything is kind of interesting because, like, when I talk, like, when them coaches is talking to me, and I'm just like, the first person, I was just like, oh, they just talking.
Mm-hmm.
But like when it
Next
kept
coach.
coming, the other
So,
coaches kept coming saying the exact same thing, and
so
I'm
it's
just
almost like
looking
they
at
got
them.
the word out for you. It's like, hey, this guy, he's hard to coach. But I got this guard over here that you might want to take a look at too.
Right.
You
You
know?
know, like
Mm,
I said earlier, you got Dick Vitale talking about me on national television
yes.
as a sophomore
Well,
in
you're
high school.
talking to George McGinnis. You're talking to Pacers front office. You're getting the Houston Rockets workouts. You're playing, uh, minor league ball in Georgia and things of that nature. You know, if they had the development league, you'd be perfect for that. You know what I mean? You would be one of those guys working your way into the league, I believe, if that was happening now. And now there's so much YouTube and huddle and film and
Yeah.
all that stuff. You know, back then we didn't have it. But
Now back then we didn't have that. They had to go through your coach.
but what I did love about those old Giants games is remember they would Channel 3, WSOT would videotape the games. We'd go to McDonald's or Burger King, hang out. By the time we got back home, the
11
game was
o'clock.
on TV. And then they
Right.
replayed again 10 o'clock Saturday morning. Like,
Right.
I need to talk to my man Greg Keaton, shout out to Man John Sports, and shout out to WSOT, Sunnycrest Baptist Church. But we have to find a way to get those videos out. I mean, they got it from 85 all the way to 2010s, 2020s before they folded. I mean, we got to get that stuff because we could go back to all your home games, literally,
Right.
and watch them on TV as they happen. You
Right.
know, I think, and with Marion being such a sports town, the thing that, and the sports is really what bonds this town together. You know, you got your Gas City, Jonesboroughs, all that mess, East Brooks and Madison Grants and all that, but sports is what binds us together. And I think we can put the Marion versus Miss Cinewall game in '95 out there. The Madison Grant Marion sectional game that you played in. You know what I mean? All that stuff from when our guys played to all the way up to when Zach and them played and beyond. So we got to work. I got to work